Everybody, it is Leanne Greff on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. That is when I do my live videos. So I'm going to get my laptop synced up. Let me know you're watching and where you're from, if it's your first time here. Yeah, everything looks good. Just waiting for a comment to make sure I'm live. Got some news today, some fun news, some good news, maybe some not so good news. Some updates, some really neat fun fold cards today that you'll be surprised at. Some things I'd never seen before until I was inspired by a few of my demonstrator friends. So hi Trina, good morning. Okay, I guess we're ready to go. So hopefully there's a few more watching. I shared last week about the new online exclusive products, and I'm going to be using one of them today. We're going to focus on the Lovely Garden Suite. Let's see, I guess that is, oh, maybe it doesn't show it in here. Yeah, this is the whole thing right here, the Lovely Garden Suite. So, yeah, I'll be sharing some of these items today with two really cool fun fold cards. Hi, everybody. Welcome. So anyway, these are, if you don't, haven't looked at the online exclusives, go on to shopwithleanne.com and go under online exclusives. It's very simple. There's a little, I call it a hamburger icon. It's not my words, some other people, but at the top of your screen, once you're on Stampin' Up! Website, there's three little lines. Click on that, and that will give you the menu on where to find everything. So, so yeah, okay, move that aside. And I have a little news on Paper Pumpkin. So these are the next 3 months of kits. The subscription period ended for the March kit yesterday, the 10th, my computer time and date is wrong. My husband's our laptop is having issues, so he's been working on that. But the first one is for April is Inked Occasions. It's sending cards with hand-painted alcohol ink designs. May is Mountain Majesties, Father's Day cards, layered mountain landscapes, and June is Full of Charm, elevated cards with heartfelt sentiments. And there's a little tip at the bottom here. I'm excited to say I know two of the upcoming in colors. One is a returning in color called, left me. Oh my goodness, it's a dark pink. I've gotten mine Summer Splash, and that's not it. Oh, hopefully I'll come up with it. But a new one is called Timid Tiger. So that is exciting. I think it's possibly like a medium light gold, maybe a gold yellow. So that's what I'm guessing. There are, I think in the flyer, I think it's that right there, but you never know about print and what colors things print out at. But Timid Tiger, that is one of our new in colors. And I wish I could remember the name of that other one. It's gonna drive me crazy. Do you remember what I said yesterday? Yes, Gian, Strawberry Slush, thank you. I got stuck on Summer Splash instead of Strawberry Slush. Thank you. Okay, yes, two in colors, one coming back, Strawberry Slush, and one new one, Timid Tiger. So that's what I know so far. This week is on stage in North Carolina. I did not go. No, I don't think it's Watermelon Wonder, Lori. I think it's Strawberry Slush. I'm almost positive that's what they said is coming back. It was listed in one of the designer papers in the online exclusives right now. So yeah, that's coming back. So let's see, other news. Let's go to Prize Patrol. So last week I mentioned I was giving away a card kit, a card bases, envelopes, and some memories and more cards. Boy, I hope I don't have this trouble the whole video. And then of course for sharing, I give away a free tutorial. So these are the winners. We have Joan Fuller, who won the card kit, and Laura Summer won the free tutorial. So I messaged Laura, and I will give this to Joan. She's a local gal. So congratulations, gals. I really appreciate you sharing and commenting and getting the word out about my videos. Yeah, Janine, they do sneak those in, but I think that they're going to start showing some sneak peeks of the in colors this week. At least the demonstrators who are on stage I think they'll be able to share them. So that's so exciting every year to know what's coming. The only in colors leaving this year are the 2023-25 in colors that include boho blue, which I'm really sad at, pebbled path, a wild wheat, can't remember a couple of the other ones, but those are the 5 going away, and we'll get 5 new in colors. So congratulations, girls. Thank you so much. And the prize for commenting this time is a set of pastel adhesive back sequins. And of course, for sharing, it'll be a free tutorial from my shop. So those are the prizes for this video. Okay, here is the inventory status report. I'll go down here. So I do want to talk about the thick white cardstock, because last week Stampin' Up! Shared that they were going to discontinue the thick white cardstock option. Now I'm really curious, how many of you prefer a thick white cardstock base on your white card bases? Do you grab a regular basic white, or do you grab thick white for your card bases? Honestly, I feel like the thick white is almost too thick. I do tend to like the regular basic white, but it's not as thick as our core colors. So I'm curious, what do you guys do when you want a white card base? Do you even have any thick white cardstock? But anyway, getting back to that. So I'm doing a poll. I'd like to know what you use when you do a white card base. Do you even have it? Have you ever tried it? Babette, you like the thick white. Okay, awesome. Yep, Jan, thick for you. A lot of demonstrators in their swaps that I joined, they say we have to use thick white when we're using a white card base. So, yep, that is the facts. So I almost think it's too thick, but I will go with the majority. So, yep, layers do make it thicker. You're right, Shar. But they're bringing it back. So many demonstrators got really, really upset. And like, what are they going to do? They're going to have to buy elsewhere. We are going to... so they protested. They went on, we have something called the product... it's not the sandbox anymore. Anyway, it's for suggestion box, basically. And demonstrators flooded it with requests demanding that they would keep thick white cardstock. So it is coming back. It's out of stock right now. It is coming back, but it will only be seen online. It will not be in the catalog, because they made that decision a year ago when they were setting up the annual catalog. So it will only be seen online. I do have news on other cardstock. They have had to raise the prices in the new annual catalog. So the reason being why they had to raise prices is milling costs have gone up tremendously. In fact, they have had a hard time finding mills. They've lost some. They have multiple mills across the U.S. that make our cardstock for Stampin' Up. One of the problems is that our core colors are 8.5 by 11 is solid core all the way through, and a lot of mills do not do that. They do white core papers, and so it's hard to find mills that do that. So we have an increase in cost. So yes, the cardstock is going up, and the other sad thing is vanilla and white in 8.5 by 11 are currently 40 sheets in a pack. They are going down to 24 in a pack. And that is so the price increase doesn't scare people away from buying it. Otherwise, it would be just really expensive. So that is some of the changes in the upcoming catalog. I know it's sad, but everything has gone up. And so they have to reflect those prices in the new catalog, unfortunately. So anyway, hopefully you all understand that. Just like everywhere, everything has gone up. Sadly, I hope you hope that things will go back down someday, but I don't know if they ever do. Do they? I know gas is one thing that fluctuates a lot, but groceries, I don't know. I don't know if it ever goes back down. Maybe somebody else knows that better than I do. Okay, all right. I'm gonna take a little sip of my drink here. I'm drinking iced chai this morning. Love the iced chai. Okay, little tip on last chance products. There are a lot of things that are sold out. So if you haven't looked at last chance products, I would encourage you to do so because there are some wonderful deals. A lot of them are from the winter catalog and some are from the clearance rack. So a lot are gone already. Now this last chance product comes out new again in April. So the even months of the year, February was the first one this year, April will be the next one. So we will get new last chance product list in April. So I'll share that with you in a few weeks. Can you believe it? All right, so this catalog goes through April. This one will end the first part of May and we'll have a new one. So if any of my customers who've ordered from me want a catalog, be sure to message me. I usually send them to people who order from me during the last 6 months. So if you haven't ordered and you want a catalog, here is my host code. So let me know that you want a catalog. They're free for my current customers. And if you place an order, it will be free for you as well. So the new catalog is coming out in April sometime, but goes live in May. All right, what have I forgotten? I think that's the news. So we are going to play with the Thankful Garden Suite. And this bundle, which includes dies, has a set of decorative masks as well. This one has 5 masks, and I'll show you some tips on using that today. All right, we're gonna start. Both of these cards are really cool fun fold cards. I'm gonna get out the die that I'll be using. So these are online products, seen in the online exclusives. Remember, online only means it is seen only online and not in any publication. Oh, Melinda, awesome, you're in Epcot right now. Wow, good for you. We'll be heading there in May. So yeah, is the Flower and Garden Show on right now for you there? I'm excited about that. Yeah, we are going in mid-May to Disney for the Stampin' Up! Trip. Okay, all right, let's get going. I'm gonna move some of these items out of the way so I have more room to work. This first card was inspired by my friend Susie, Susie Wood. I think she's Susie Wood at blogspot.com. I'm not sure if that's her, but you can just do Susie Wood blog and you'll find out. She does measurements and product lists for almost all of her projects, and they are incredible. We stamp together via text often. We're just like, what do you think of this? Should I change that? Should I change that? It's awesome. We have a good time stamping together. Okay, so this card uses, I'm gonna get that paper out. The Lovely Garden designer paper. So yeah, if you like florals and pinks and greens and fresh freesia and yellows, you will like this paper. So there's also some black and white patterns in here. I'm missing one. I don't remember which one it is. This one. I used a lot of that paper for the card you'll be seeing. So this is an online exclusive, which again means you only can see it online. It's not in a catalog. All right, so this first card looks pretty normal, right? So I used the designer paper, cut out an extra flower, but here's how it opens. So you see a whole inside of your designer paper. So the front is a panel of the designer paper. I cut out an extra little flower to pop up a little greeting on a die cut. And in the back side, if you want to say, of the designer paper, you score it in a way. And I'm going to show you, this is Susie's, oops, upside down, Susie's template that I got off her blog. I think it was just within the last week. So, Laura, you won a prize. So I messaged you today. So let me know what you'd like on my shop. You get a free tutorial. Congratulations. Yeah, this is a special card, isn't it? And so it's one way to show up. Oh, I can't decide which side of my designer paper to use. Go ahead and use both. Love those kind of cards. So it is 6 inches by 7 1/4. So 7 1/4 tall, 6 inches wide. So you can get 2 cards from a piece of designer paper. All right, so my greeting is from the Layering Leaves bundle, which I think it might be on low inventory right now, but I love the sentiments. I use them all the time. It's a great set. Okay, so let me get out, and this die cut in the front is from the Nested Essentials dies. I hope they make it through into the next catalog. So that's the products. All right, let's get out. Oops, just lost my greeting on the floor. Okay, so we're changing up the colors of this card, and we're using this piece of designer paper. Okay, so it is scored, again, 2 inches and 2 inches. 7 1/4 inches tall, 6 inches wide. Then she said to score sideways. Well, I didn't want to score because it's hard to score sideways. You could make a mark, but I decided to match my score lines with these score lines and just fold it. So it's a little bit hard. It definitely will be hard to see on, but I'm matching up this score line right here and this one right here, and I know you can't see this, but that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so then this is how it folds. All right, and yes, you will have a little peek of that layer right there. It's just how cardstock, or folding is. It's gonna sneak out just a little bit. So I'm not actually sure why you have to fold those. Honestly, in some ways, I feel like, why do we need to fold those? And I never asked Susie, but she got this from another demonstrator. Okay, so you had the template there for a while. All right, we're using, because of the floral paper, we're going to use Melon Mambo instead of black. So there we go. We're going to glue that. Oh, I was going to get more glue out because I know I'm kind of at the end of this one. But I have my tape runner too. I'm going to go across the center. Oh, this is moving. I have a little tape underneath my mat here that is supposed to hold these down in place so it doesn't move. Now I'm crooked. You know how that bothers me if you watch me for long. Okay, I changed this one up. This has 2 layers, and oh, I didn't bring those over. I'm using the textured notes dies. You can't probably even see it. Maybe on this one you can see it a little bit better. This is one of the textured note dies, and so is this one. They have such great texture on the edges. It's almost like an impression, like an embossing folder, but it is cut in some areas. It is cut. So I'm going to layer those together. And, oops, sorry, to make my liquid glue last, I dropped that. I'm going to use my tape runner, and better not be out. I'm going to advance this forward a little bit. And this one's almost out. I'm so prepared today. All right, I really like how you can add a layer between. Now these are the next size up in these dies, but look how it shows off the layers and the cuts and with the layer in between. Now you wouldn't have to do that, but I prefer to. Okay. All right, and that will cover that, but the inside layer for greeting, if you center, it's not quite centered, side to side is a little larger than up and down, and the reason for that is I wanted a layer of white just to highlight that edge. So that looks pretty good to me, although I do want to stamp it. So I'll get my ink out, just a little something in the inside. Move this away, move this way. You always want to stamp on a smooth surface. Never stamp on layers. It just not as effective. Hope that covers. My image is sticking out just a little bit from the block. Yep, it worked. Okay, the other thing I did, if you look at the inside, was in the stamp set, there is an extra leaf, which I love using those extra little images. And because the green in the paper is garden green, I'm going to use garden green, but I have a little tip to show you on this. So I'm just going to stamp a few of these leaves around the sentiment. Then, I can't wait to show you the next card. It's so cool. So if any of you have a blender pen and you stamped in classic ink, which is one of our core colors, and this is a blender pen, and when you stamp, you can spread that ink with the blender pen and fill it in a little bit without picking up any more ink. It just spreads some of that ink from your stamp. It's so cool. You don't have to worry about coloring perfectly. It's just a little highlight. Isn't that pretty? So then you just wipe it off, and then you can go on to another color next time you want to color. Okay, so we'll go back to adding our inside layer. And like I said, it's not perfectly centered top to bottom. I'm not quite sure why. I think I probably didn't measure correctly, but it works. All right, so then here we're going to just add adhesive to the edge and center it as best you can and on that layer. Okay, there we go. There's the inside of the card. Now you could add more here, but I love seeing the inside of the card like that. All right, so the greeting, we are going to stamp, I think I'll stamp in black. And I'm going to do another thank you because I send a lot of thank you cards. So somebody will get this card. All right. It's always kind of hard to center when you have an offset image, like where is center? But I went with what was left on the white. So cover up the ink. By the way, Memento ink and the refill is out of stock right now. I didn't list that in the in my inventory status report. Okay, I'm going to use some edges. Oops, just a couple. Always use your edges. Now the next card will feature the stamp set a little bit more than this one does. This one kind of just features the designer paper for the most part. Now I did fussy cut an extra flower that I'm going to add here. Even though it's not smaller than the large one, I think it still works just to add, because it almost looks like there's another flower underneath it. So we will add some dimensionals to the back. Always fun to add dimension to your cards for a little lift. And then figure out what looks best. There we go. Oh, I forgot something. I had a plan. I am going to, we'll see how this works. Because this one, the flower is so large, this one has a twine bow, but on this one, I'm going to basically make a loose bow and press it very large compared to what I normally do, because I want it to sneak out from the under the flower. So I'm basically trying to open up these loops a little bit. Yeah, they could be a little larger even. And I believe I had it like this. So we're just going to press on the back of that. I could have used a mini glue dot since I did actually tie a bow. And then I want to add, because that adhesive will likely, if anybody presses on it, will cause the center to press in. So let's scoot that a little bit away. Yep, I'm still going to go with this. Okay, there we go. Now, if you want to add rhinestones or something to the center of the flowers, you certainly could, and I likely will. But that's the first card. And now the second one is even cooler. So, all right, let's move on. All right. Oh, and the other thing I did was a little wink of Stella on the designer paper. So when you can color on your designer paper. So you can decide to go on all the light areas. I don't know if you're even seeing any of that reflection, but that will highlight some of those lighter areas and kind of bring it out. It's really fun to highlight your designer paper. So yeah, don't forget to do that if you love a little bit of bling or glitz. Okay, so that's a little tip for you. All right, so by the way, which do you like better, the bright or the soft? They're both, I think they're both really pretty, but I tend to lean towards this one, although I love black and white. So yeah, same but different. Okay, next, using the Thankful Garden bundle and the dies and the masks, we are going to do let's see, and I actually have dimensions for you because it's such a now these cards will be on my blog next week with the free project sheet that you can print out. Now this next card, last card was inspired by Susie Wood, and this card is inspired by Terry Gaines. So it looks like a normal card, right? Maybe a gatefold, but look, it pops out. Isn't that super cool? I was just so impressed with it, and it's actually easy. You wouldn't think this would be easy, but she has a simple brace in the inside that makes it pop out. So again, I used, this time I used the Thankful Garden dies and, bundle, and the masks, and the textured note dies on these 2 layers. So the next card's going to be totally different because I'm using different designer paper. It's all still the lovely garden paper, but this is called the Pop Out Fun Fold card, and I'm using Lemon Lolly with Garden Green this time. So we'll use Garden Green, and actually the color that they say goes with this isn't Lemon Lolly, it is Crushed Curry. But I didn't see, I love the softness of Lemon Lolly, so we're gonna work on that. But the ink is going to be Crushed Curry, so we'll see. I might regret that. We will see. All right, so first of all, we're gonna do our flower, and I'm going to do the other flower, which I left over here. Okay, so I usually stamp in black. Now you wouldn't have to, you could stamp in green because it really honestly doesn't matter. But there's black in the cardstock. designer paper, and there's black on this. So that is what I'm going to do. So you can stamp anywhere because we are going to die cut this after I'm done and pop it up. There's always something about having a card or an extra element pop up. Okay. All right, so next we're done with black, I believe. Next we're going to start the stencils. So our stencils all have a notch on them. So if you're using a large enough card base, or you can position that notch, or what you do is you put a little adhesive down and then you will position your mask. And of course I ended up, I'm going to scoot this to the side just so I can get off the pretty design on my grid paper here. And then you can take a pen or pencil and make a notch here. So every time you add another stencil, you can find that notch where that's at. But I have an easier plan. So right now we're going to go with yellow ink on number 1 stencil. Right in the corner next to the notch, it's imprinted in the stencil is a number 1. Next will be a 2, 3, and all the way to 4 and 5. Okay, crushed curry ink, a blending brush, and I will position this. Now all of a sudden it doesn't work on the, what happened? It moved. So I'm ignoring that. So, somehow I moved, so that is no longer pertinent. But I'll get some yellow on here and always brush off a little bit. And, ooh, that is bright. I don't want it bright. So we're just going to add some yellow. And in my case, because I'm die cutting, if I went outside, I don't really care because I'm going outside. I'm going to die cut this. Okay, that was number 1. Now we will do number 2. And here, what I did was I lined up the stencils and then I used a marker on my stencil where the leaves are. So now all I really have to do is match up the leaves and I know I'm in the right spot. So that is a tip I learned from Patty Bennett. So yeah. Oh, don't move. I've got to hold it a little bit firmer here. Always after you ink, whether you brush or whatever, do a little tapping because, I have to press a little firmer here, because that first inking can be harsh. See that little line? And I don't want that. A little bit darker. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. Now the last one, this is stencil 3 for the flower. Again, I'm going to line up. So if you haven't ever used stencils, this is kind of a fun way to learn. Now I don't need to tap off as much because the areas are very small. You can see I'm going quite bright or dark, however you want to look at it. Now I moved again. It's usually a lot easier. I don't know why I'm slipping and sliding here today. I haven't done that before. Okay, so next, it's similar to the yellow in there, but it's not that close to this one. But we will now go back to our first stencil. I really like this look where you do a little on the edge. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. I should have had some lemon lolly for this. Don't know why I didn't think of that. So I'm just going on the edge of the large stencil that is open. So I'm mostly on the stencil. I'm not that much on the, there we go. There's the flower, so that we're done with the flower stencils. Okay, now we will go to the leaves. And we're done with fresh curry. I wish I had used more lemon lolly, but that's the way it is in hindsight. Okay, now we'll get out our green brush and start with the open leaves and line those up. This is so fun to do. Ooh, look at how dark that is. So just a little brushing motion. You can go as dark as you like. It really makes you feel like an artist when you use these stencils. So again, lining up my marks on the, and I do want to go a little bit darker here. This is the detail stencil. There's only 2 stencils for the leaves. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, now I could have added some green or some lemon lolly or another color. And these you can clean with your chamois, or you can rinse under your sink in water. And they clean so nicely because we're using classic ink, which just rinses off. Okay, all right, so now we will bring in the die cutting machine and die cut this. Oh, I better turn it this way so I can control the crank. All right, you can see my well-loved base here. And then we use the large die and position that. And that looks pretty good. Put our clear on. Make sure it stays in place as you go through. Okay, there we go. Oh, that little bit of tape on there. Okay. All right. So now let's put our card together. Okay, so you see I'm going to slide my measurements, so maybe over this way. Okay, so the card base is 8.5 by 5.5, and you score at 2 1/8, 4 1/4, and 6 3/8. So you're going to make a W. Oops, what is that? Some glue. And you're going to want to bone fold all of your score lines very well. Oh, and looks like I either got some ink on me, but hopefully we'll cover that up. So here is the card base. I'm going to leave this up like this so you kind of get the gist. I don't know what I got on me. Very strange. Okay, next we need to add our designer paper. Okay, figure out which way you think is right. So the W, the indent or valley fold, is on the inside, the center. And some of you are probably thinking, oh, that doesn't match lemon lolly. You need to use crushed curry. Well, we'll see. You're probably right. Okay, then the brace is 8 1/4 long by 1 3/4 wide, and you score it at 2 1/8, 3 1/8, 5 1/8, and 6 1/8. And so basically what you want is a piece that looks like this, like a T, okay? So what you're going to do, you cannot glue these together. It's very kind of awkward. What you're going to do, and I think I'm going to use liquid glue. Sometimes I feel like on a fun fold card, you want to use strong glue. Okay, you're going to hold it like this. It's kind of awkward. And then you're going to find the center. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's really going to measure this, right? And insert that. It's really hard to hold that together. And now I kind of messed up. Insert that and make it even, and then close your card. Oh, I better let it dry. And that is how the pop-up works. So, and this is how the card is sent. You will have a one side that the layer goes on, because you can't send a card like this, right? So you fold over one on the top, and that is your pop out. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of press those down. There we go. So then my layers, and I did not texture this or anything. This is now garden green with white. So we will add our white layer. I could have textured it, but oh, I am running out, aren't I? Oh, or else it was clogged. Okay. All right, I love these layers. These are the textured note dies that you can see online. And now, I think this is gonna work just fine. It's a nice, pretty, soft yellow behind there. Doesn't match perfectly, but that's okay. So this is flat, and here I'm going to add dimensionals. I don't know why I have my minis out. Maybe I will use some edges here. And a lot of times I trim them so they're cut and they come off nice and easy, and other times I just kind of tear. Okay, we're gonna add one more little one over here for kind of to support the stem. Do you use a lot of dimensionals, or are you a minimalist? And I can see I need one more over here. It's a large piece. Okay, everything is off. Now you just decide how you want to, and I really like it on an angle. So pretty. All right, now what I did ahead of time, see this greeting, thankful for, oops, I'm sorry, thankful for you, friend. So I wanted to use one of the smallest layers on these textured note dies, and this did not fit. And so I'm like, I'm just gonna use thankful. So I used markers for this. I just used a garden green marker and inked just the word thankful, huffed on it, and stamped. So anyway, that's how I got just the thankful part on here. All right, going back to the card. I'm going to, now on this one, I stamped some leaves. I should do that on this one too, but I'm not going to. I'm going to put this on here just to call it done. And this is, and you could, I thought about adding another layer of designer paper here, because it seems kind of odd to just have one on the back, but then when you open it, you almost need 3. So I left it as is. You could do 2 white, but that's what Terry Gaines did. So to finish the card, let's add strong glue to this, and I'm not quite sure. There we go. We'll fold it out. I don't remember how I got this centered. There we go. Fold it flat like it will be mailed. And if you want extra support on the card, you will put this to the bottom. I'm gonna put it in the center this time because I think it's okay. We'll see. I'll find out if I'm wrong here. So I'm just looking at my parameters and pressing that on here. Okay, yeah, oh, she was right. Look at that. Oh boy, now I have to move it. Yep, you do need it, and I may have to use a, what do you call it? For embossing buddy. So if you have glue that you, like, I'm gonna scoot this down a little bit. First of all, you could just brush it, but it's still gonna stick a little bit. But an embossing buddy, tap that and you will remove or disengage the stick. Now it's wanting to stick before I want it to. Yeah, so yeah, she was right. Should have listened to the master. So that's the card as it pops out. So I only have about 1/4 of an inch that it's off, so that's what I need to do. So on here, you can add twine or something, but I'm going to add 2 little dimensionals on kind of the end and leave that out because that will be supported by the stem, or close to the stem dimensional. And then, oh, I got an extra one. And I like it hanging off a little bit. I think that's really pretty when it hangs off. So there we go. Now I did decide to use some of these new Starburst sequins. Have you seen these? These are part of this suite, the Lovely Garden Suite. So I don't think the yellow is correct. Although we could see. Let's see what we think about the yellow. Oh, that almost doesn't show up for the center of these. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm going to try the white. Now, I wasn't planning to do it on the center. Come on, you. Now it got stuck on the cardboard. I was going to do scattered gems. No, I want small ones. Get my putty in the middle again. I don't know where those little dots are coming from, and you know I don't like that. So we're going to remove those and do scattered, just because I just don't think I like that. Doesn't seem like a flower that, and I'm going to move that. Changing my mind all over the place. I really want it on this side, so I'm going to put it right there. Okay. All right, there we are with these 2 pop-out fun fold cards. So this one's much more vibrant, and that is the hydrangea. And this, we looked it up with a flower finder, and it mentioned pretty poppy. I don't really think that looks like a poppy, but maybe. So we're really not sure what that is. It could be a pansy, but yeah, I wish I would have used a couple different colors of yellow. Or maybe maybe left some of it white. I'm not sure what I would do different, but they're pretty flowers. So what do you think? Anybody gonna try this fun fold? It is super fun and really fun for the recipient as well. So if you just joined me and you haven't seen the cards yet, these are the cards that we made today. So both fun folds, both beautiful, all using the Lovely Garden Suite. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to, if you want to see the tutorials next week, Monday, Tuesday, they should be live on my blog, and here are my host codes for the next few weeks, and that is my shop to get my kits and tutorials. I have 2 kits right now, new botanical textures and floral delight, and I will likely show them next week. So, all right, thank you so much. A wild Oregon poppy, huh? Oh. Maybe. Well, I hope you do try them. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you. Have a great week. Bye-bye.